Hi class, so today I'm going to tell you why you need to get help. So we've all been in situations that we didn't want to be in or that we got stuck in and we needed help to get out of it, but we didn't have the guts to ask for help or to reach out to anybody. And so because of that, we got stuck in that terrible situation. So today I'm going to tell you that you need to get help. You need to advocate for yourself, make an effort to get the help, and then you need to accept the help, which I think is probably the hardest part. So I'm going to tell you a personal story. So 3 years ago, I went to the emergency room with severe chest pain, but because I was only 14 and I didn't know what was actually wrong with me, I couldn't advocate for myself. So I couldn't tell the nurses and the doctors what was wrong with me, and then they didn't believe me. So they sent me home, told me I had anxiety, and that was it. So just a couple weeks ago, I had heart surgery because I had supraventricular tachycardia, which just means that my heart had extra signals that would beat too fast. So because I couldn't advocate for myself, I went for 3 years with this terrible pain. No medicine, no help. I just had to suck it up and deal with it, and it was absolutely terrible. And I couldn't advocate for myself. So it's so important that in anything that you advocate for yourself. You need to tell people what's wrong. You need to be able to tell them what's wrong. That's important, is knowing what your problem is and not relying on someone like your parents to tell people for you. So you have to make an effort to do this. So whether that means if you're having a problem in math, you need to go in early or stay late or have the question repeated to you and explained to you 100 times over again. You have to make an effort to prove that you need something wrong. So when I had my heart issues, at first I gave up. And I figured, well, there's something wrong with me. I just have anxiety, whatever, it's over. But eventually I decided, no, this is a problem. I'm in pain. And then because of that, I kept questioning my doctors and forcing my doctors to listen to me. And eventually I got through and I was sent to a cardiologist who then looked at me like, oh, well, you're only 18 and you're in my cardiologist's office. What are you doing here? Everyone else there looked at me like I was crazy, and I actually ended up having a problem. So I told my doctor, he's like, I know you don't believe me, but you have to listen to me. There's something wrong. And I explained that to them over and over again. Sorry, I have people everywhere. And because I was able to make that effort, and I went and I kept persisting, that eventually I did get the help that I needed. And I ended up having heart surgery, which is why I've been kind of inactive in this class lately, is I haven't had much energy to do anything other than sleep. So the hardest part, I think, of getting help is accepting the help. A lot of people don't want help. They don't want to accept that they need help. And I think that this is the demise of a lot of people, and it causes problems to get even worse than they already were. So I had a friend about 2-3 years ago who was depressed, but nobody knew. Her friends didn't know, her family didn't know, her girlfriend didn't know, and when she killed herself, it came as a complete shock to everybody. We all said, well, we would have been there for her, we could have helped her, what could we have done? But I think honestly, she wasn't ready to accept the help, and I think that made a big difference in how she handled the situation, which is sad, and it happens everywhere. So many people have issues and are depressed and need help, but can't ask for it. They don't make an effort, they don't advocate for themselves, and they don't want help. So it's so important that you get help. And I think that a lot of people are hesitant to get help because we don't want to show our weaknesses. And I know that when I had my heart issues, that I was so scared that someone wasn't going to believe me or that I made it up and that it was in my head. So I hesitated, and I waited 3 whole years before I finally got help. But there was something wrong, and I needed surgery to correct it. And I've had so many friends in their lives because they were afraid to ask for help, and we didn't know how to give them help. So I think another important thing is that we as friends and family members and classmates even need to be able to give help. We need to offer ourselves to our friends and coworkers and classmates and anybody we know to listen. We need to be willing to listen, and we need to tell people that we understand, even if we don't. Or if we don't, we can send them to someone who does, maybe a counselor or a teacher, or just be their friend. Because I think a lot of people in times of like sorrow and pain and all those terrible things don't know how to ask for help, and maybe we need to just give them that help without being asked. And I think that is so important and overlooked often. So Okay, I don't know what to say. So sometimes to get help or to even give help, we need to swallow our pride. We need to understand that it's going to be sad and life is going to be rough and it's going to beat us down and it's just life. I mean, we've all probably experienced this before, but we need to not let it affect us negatively, and we need to reach out to our doctors and friends and families, and we need to be heard, and we need to advocate for ourselves, and we need to advocate for our friends even. Like, I know that my mom tried so hard to be there to help me when I had my heart issues, but she didn't know what to say because I didn't tell her what to say. And so it's like I wanted help, but I was scared. And so I think that as people, as humans, we need to offer our assistance and we need to receive assistance also. So I just want to express to you so much that you need to get help in anything. You know, our professors tell us all the time, if you have any questions, email me. But how many of us actually do? We need to reach out and get help, whether it's something as little as I don't understand an assignment or something as big as there's something wrong with me, help me, or I'm depressed and I need help, or just I don't understand this problem, can you help me please, in math, science, art, anything. We need help in little ways and big ways, but we need to be willing to accept the help. We need to ask for the help, and eventually getting the help could save our lives.